right. Let me mute you all here. And I'm going to start, we're going to start our practice with a little gratitude reflection. So, as the holidays are coming, like next week is Thanksgiving, and I don't know what everybody's world is like around the holidays, whether it's a happy, beautiful time for you or a stressful time for you, or maybe both, or, more fullness in some way. So, whatever happens for you in the next month, let's see if we can set a tone to begin this time of year where the darkness really kind of settles in and we have to bring a deep internal sense of light to the world to shine in these darkest time of the year, and dark times both. But we're going to start with just some remembering of gratitude. So I really think gratitude is the balm that protects us and keeps us safe and stable and shining that light as best as we can. So go ahead and close your eyes and think about nothing for just a moment, right? Just come into your body, right? And just feel your way into whatever you're sensing. Close your eyes if you can. Make sure you're comfortable, that your perch that you're sitting on is supportive of you, and just come into the familiar posture of meditation where your body feels comfortable, at ease, relaxed. You can bring fullness of breath into your body. And of course, if seated is not an easeful place for you, just begin your practice by lying down on your back. Okay. So, no matter your position, come home to your breathing and see if you can just invite in a deep sense of gratitude for the simplicity of being alive today. That here we are on this planet and we can open our hearts and share our love with each other. And what a beautiful gift this is. And I'll ask you just a few reflective questions about gratitude to kind of stir the soup, to bring forth gratitude within you. And remember that it's always here available. So, what is something small in your everyday life that you're grateful for, but that you often tend to overlook? That it becomes kind of like the noise in the background that you don't even pay attention to. So, what is that small little something in your everyday life that you're grateful for? Mhm. What is one challenge that you've faced this past year, that somehow you're more thankful now for it than you were maybe when it was happening? Has something changed in you? Have you grown in some way because of a challenge that you've met? Have you been supported in a way that you can be grateful for during this challenge? And how do you tend to your gratitude in your daily life? Not just remembering to be thankful for something or someone, but how do you practice gratitude? And is there a way for you to incorporate this daily, more intentionally into your day? What moment in this past year has brought you unexpected joy or an unexpected sense of peace? Sometimes the surprise gratitude, things we weren't expecting, can hold a lot of beauty for us. What is that for you? And lastly, as we're entering into the holiday season with Thanksgiving coming next week, and this kind of sacred time, if we can cultivate it, of a deep inner realms where we're bringing our own light into the darkness. What are you looking forward to in these coming weeks where the dark gets longer, and maybe there's some traditions around that in your life where you gather with loved ones or you have special meals? Could be Thanksgiving or anything else. So just what are you looking forward to? Bring your hands together and let's just hold the sensation of gratitude for a moment. So, as you've kind of spent a few minutes kind of seeping in your gratitude practices, what does it feel like in your body right now? What does it feel like in your mind, in your breath? How has turning toward gratitude affected you? Let's see if we can hold that energy and let it grow as we practice. The intentions you want to set here. Let's release the hands and find our way onto our back. All right, so as you stretch out and lengthen, let's have gratitude for our practice. The simplicity of moving our body in the ways that we do, where we tend to our health and our well being, body and mind. Okay, so have a little joy living in that. And maybe when you're ready, stretch your body one side and then the other side. And to me, this simple thing that we're doing right now is something to be grateful for. Such a pleasure to just open up your body and become aware of it, even with, aches and pains and all. Okay. All right, and then draw your knees into your chest and rock a little bit. Sway from side to side. Let your head sway too. See if you can just let your body relax in that rhythm. All right, and then hang on to the knees and let's circle, kind of rolling in one direction, rolling in another. And let's open up away from the middle, bring them back in, and just feel into that nice, beautiful range of motion. Be so thankful for what your hips are able to do and how well your knees are bending right now in this position, the length of your spine. Feel your head rest. And then draw your right knee into your chest, stretch your left leg long on the ground. You roll around in your ankles and feel how nice it is to be able to move your feet. Fill up your breath, empty it all the way out. And then draw your knees into your other knee into your chest and stretch that right leg long on the ground and feel continual movement of your ankles and toes. Remember to rest your head. So easy for us to feel like we need to do with our upper body. Nothing to do right. And then stretch your body to a star. Reach out through your limbs. Wiggle your fingers and toes so you feel
all that big space out there. And then exhale, draw your knees in, pick up your head, a snug little ball. One more time, feeling expansive and free. And as you exhale, drawing your knees in, relax your head down onto the ground, arms out to the side of its windshield wiper, your knees left and right, just kind of coming into that beautiful range of motion, breathing deeply. And then one more giant big star out there in space, knees into your chest, a hug, and then roll to your side and come up to your hands and your knees. All right, let's start moving through some cat cows and sense in to the openness of your spine, feeling that freedom ripple through you as you arch and as you round. Move through your breath with your breath. All right, and then wag your tail or circle your hips or move in your ribs. Anything that feels really good in your body. When you feel ready, drop back towards child's pose and send your arms overhead and get some deep length. Inch your fingers a little farther forward and feel that reaching through your ribs, your shoulders, even into your lats, all the way down to your hips. And we'll walk our hands over to the right side of your mat and drop some energy down into your pelvis. Stretch through the side of your body and open up. And then come back to center and walk over to the other side and feel that grounding of your hips. Open up through your ribs on this side and breathe. Every time you feel a sensation in your body, cherish it, be with it, open up into it. And then come back to center, up on all fours, and wag your tail again. Remove your ribs or your head. Let's curl the toes under and stretch back towards child's pose with your feet curled under so you're nice and high with your head. So you're just opening up the bottom of your feet. Spread all that fascia on the bottom of your feet. And then come back up and give your feet a little tap. Well, let's find our warming twist. Reach your left arm up in the air, exhale, and slide that shoulder down. Feel the wringing out of your spine. Enjoy the twisting here. Press well into the ground with your hand. Melt through your skull. And then when you're ready, lift that arm all the way back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. Let's switch sides. Arm up. Exhale, slide the arm under. Gazing toward the ground. Feeling that freedom in your body. Reach into your ribs. Breathe into your ribs. Keep your neck soft and neutral. Inhale, push that arm all the way back up. Hand comes down onto the ground and let's find a dog pose. Okay, so reaching upward, feeling that length. Let's go ahead and ground through your hands and feet. Maybe some pedaling is in order. Maybe swing your hips, maybe moving your jaw or your head around. Just kind of find whatever's going to help you integrate and be in your body well. Instead of focusing on what's wrong in your body, let's see if we can focus on what's right. So feel into your hands and your feet and that deep grounding. Push off and lengthen. Just have some gratitude for all your nervous system, the ways in which you can sense and feel the world and your own body. And then walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana. Let your spine lengthen. Bend your knees as much as you want. Again, move any way that serves. You can wag your tail or bounce or sway or be still. Inhale for a halfway lift. Open up through your spine. Keep your hands on blocks or on your legs for a moment. Stay here. Engage your quads. Lift your kneecaps. Feel the femur bones lift up and back. Spread open the bones of your feet and draw weight into four corners. As you drop your four corners of your feet down, lift through your arches to the inner and outer hips. And then exhale, melting fully again. Feel free to bend your knees. Push, come up halfway, hands on your knees, have a breath here, just get your equilibrium, and then find your way up the rest of the way when you're ready. Reaching the arms up, feel a sense of extension, open up, maybe leaning back. Remember, every time you come into a posture like this, what are you offering yourself to? So can you give yourself just to the simplicity of the day, this beautiful day that you've been given? Can you open your heart into it, whatever may come today? Okay, and then let's cactus your arms. Give a good squeeze of that back body. Okay, arms up, reaching high. Exhale and swan dive forward. Let your neck and head dangle. Inhale for a halfway lift. Melt and fold. Step back to dog pose, feeling into that long spine again. Opening up through your legs, feeling the groundedness through your hands and your feet. Welcome your breath. Come forward into a plank. Shoulders away from the ears. Integrate into the center of your body. Find your strength. Lengthen your spine. Keeping those shoulder blades down. Your crown lifting forward. Widen across your collarbones. Root into the index finger mounds a little bit more. And then put your knees down to the ground. Some shoulder rolls, so we're opening up and keeping that mobility of our shoulders alive. And then inhale to lift to a cobra, bringing those shoulders back, open heart. Exhale to come down. Take a second one, any variation that you like to do. Feeling that fullness of the length of your front body. Exhale and melt to come back down. Up onto all fours, wag your tail, move your ribs. Send some energy through your spine in any way that you like to. Let's lift to dog pose again. Feel a full deep breath. Take your feet wide on the mat, toes on the edges of the mat, so we can feel what it feels like to have your legs a little bit wider, what changes in your breath, what changes in the sensation in your low belly, your pelvis. Do you have a little more freedom? And then walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana again. Let your head dangle. Grab onto the base of your skull with the base of your hands. Have a little traction of down toward the ground and maybe your chin toward your chest. Opening up that back line of the body. Release your hands on your head. Put them on blocks instead. And lengthen to a halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Push off your feet. Rising up one more time. Open up, lean back a little if that feels nice in your body. And then just remember to give yourself over to the day again. So open the heart, bring your arms a little wider, accept what's available here. Invite something beautiful to come into your day today. What can you meet? And release your hands down. Let's step our right foot forward, our left foot back. Come to a lunge on this side. Hands on blocks, whatever height is best for you. Be light on your blocks instead of just sinking down. Reach from your crown to your tail. And let's go ahead and find that movement in our legs. So we're straightening and bending the front knee, kind of coming home to a beautiful sensation of breath and movement living together. Opening up the hip flexors, opening the hamstrings. Let's ground our back heel and root it deeply into the earth. And inhale and lift up to crescent or to Virabhadrasana 1. You can do crescent lunge instead if you'd like to turn your hip forward and come onto your back toes. But if you're with me, reach your ribs up off your hips. Feel the grounding of your feet and extend and open up your heart. If you want to lean back, do so with the deep grounding of your legs and the support of your core. And then release your hands down, back foot comes forward, folding again. Notice every time you fold forward, that's surrender. Inhale for a halfway lift, melt and fold. Again, stepping your right foot back, left foot is in front now. Enjoy that lunge. And maybe you'd rather have your knee on the ground. So there's always ways to modify. Remember that to take your practice for its you need today. It's like, our daily dose of vitamins. We can have our daily dose of yoga in whatever way whatever way we see fit of what our needs are in this moment. How's your breath? Are you living in that flow of bending and straightening your knee? So ground into your lunge, plant the back heel down if it's comfy. Inhale, maybe interlace your fingers, find your posture. Okay. Root into your feet, lift your ribs off your hips. If you feel like extending back, make sure you're supporting with your core so your low back is extended instead of smushed. Breathing well, keeping that heart wide open. And then release your hands down again. Step your front foot back, dog pose. Let's come forward into a plank. Integrating to the center. Put your knees down, find the ground. Any variation, up dog, cobra pose, super person pose, whatever pose you want to invite a back bend into your body. And come back up onto all fours. Let's move the spine around. Curl toes under, dog pose. Again, you feel your body opening and warming. Walk your feet forward, come to Uttanasana. A halfway lift to extend. And then we're going to turn sideways. You can keep your hands on blocks while you do this if you'd like. But turn sideways onto the mat for a wide-legged Vajrayana stance. So you can have your hands on blocks. You can have your hands on the ground. Bow your head. You can touch your head to the ground. You can keep your head dangling wherever you go. Legs are straight. And lift your quadricep muscles. Take your femur bones back and your shins slightly forward. Unlock those knees. Let the pelvis roll over the femur bones and tilt. Oh, how's the breath? Can you feel your way into the inversion of this pose? And then bring your hands back on blocks. Come to a halfway lift. Let your body get used to being upright again. Heel toe your feet in just a smidge and come to a deep squat. Elbows inside your knees. Open up through your inner groins. Ground through your feet. Feel that work in your hips. And come all the way up to stand. Let's turn our right foot out, left foot in, Parsva Konasana. Elbow on your knee, stretch open through your side, and just enjoy a groundedness of a standing pose. You don't have to do all of them. Sometimes just one is enough. to give us that quality of I am rooted, I am stable, I am strong, I can take care of myself and feel the ground help me with that. Shoulders away from the ears, thigh bone back. Feel that full extension from hand to foot, foot to hand. Remember the legs like to work, so give them some juice right now. And then come on up and we'll switch sides. So our mind sometimes can tell us that our legs don't like to work, but in reality, our legs are built for this. They are built for weight bearing. They are built for supporting us. Ground into your legs. Left foot turns out, left elbow on your knee or hand on the block, and stretch that arm overhead. All right, so just notice what's here. How's this side different from the other? Can you feel the grounding of both your feet? Can you open up that front knee? Can you draw your back thigh, back leg thigh back? Soften your palms. Relax the base of your skull. Fill and empty your breathing. And back up. Turn your feet back straight again. A goddess pose, just to give us again this sense of deep ground in our body. Arms come up, we'll move a little bit through this. Exhale, drop down. Maybe your arms want to go with you. Inhale. See if you can scoop up energy from the earth. And as you exhale, drop down into your deep sense of grounding. What can you give back to you? Invite in and invite out. Move with your breath. This last one, if you'd like to, we can stay a little while or you can keep moving. Lift your heart. Shoulders broad, ground into your feet. Strong sensation, be present for it, breathe through it. Stand up, standing star. And we'll turn our feet forward again, Hasrita. Bring your hands down, legs are straight. You can put your hands on blocks or on the ground. Hands can be in between your feet or forward, whatever feels best to your body. Support your head, dangle your head, whichever feels better. Blocks under your head if you feel like you need that counter pressure. Draw your thigh bones back and shin bones forward. Spread the bones of your feet wide and broad. Root the four corners down. Melt your heart. Melt your exhales. Dangle your head if it's not supported so you feel that release. And we'll turn back toward the front side of your mat. Dog pose again, feeling that reach in your body. Now we're gonna come into pigeon pose on the right side. So if you like doing the swing, then go ahead and bring your right leg up in the air and swing it forward. I don't always love that because it doesn't allow me to grab my support that I want under my hips, nor does it help me square off my pelvis. So however you like to get into the pose, make sure when you get there and you settle yourself there, you have the support that you need and your pelvis is square. Of course, reverse pigeon pose is always available. All right, so feel that extension, reaching your heart up, feeling a beautiful lift. I have hands on blocks to help me lift my spine before I come down. Couple breaths there, and then when you're ready, you can lengthen forward and rest in sleeping pigeon. So head is supported either on a block or on fists, squaring the pelvis, widening the sit bones. That leg behind you is straight back, not out on an angle, your foot's not sickled in. What is able to melt in this pose? Soften your jaw, your ears, your eyes. Even though this is a very active pose, it's also a very restorative pose. So restorative poses don't have to mean you're draped over on your back on a block, which is of course a lovely thing to do, but you can find that sense of communing with ease in any pose. Now, with everything you can and breathe deeply. Come out of that pose. If you're a dog pose person, then come back up to dog pose, bring that right leg up and put it down and switch sides. Left leg lifting up and bring your left leg forward. If you're like me and you need a moment to get your props organized, and just switch to your second side. I have a blanket that goes under my sit bone, across underneath my, so my front leg sit bone and my back leg thigh. That's my preference, but maybe you just need something under your hip. Maybe you don't need anything at all. But if you're hanging in the pose, I recommend supporting your hips. It won't take away the stretch. It'll deepen because your body can rest. Nervous systems do not like hanging. Maybe a little bit of extension to begin. Feeling that reach in your body. Of course, if you're on your back, rest in this posture and find your way into reverse pigeon pose. Otherwise, stay in pigeon and feel your way extend and lengthen into resting a little far forward with your torso. Head is supported on a block or your hands. There's a deep sense of connection when your forehead has some support that gives way. There's a giving way of your nervous system. So feel into that. If you are guarding any part of your body, change something until you can let down your guard. If it's too deep, go less shallow. If you need to change the angle of bringing your heel a little closer to your pubic bone to take away pain in your knee, do that. If you need more height underneath you, do that. Once you find the ease, melt everywhere you can find. Feel like you're about even when you've cooked both sides the same, go ahead and come out of the posture. Okay, lie on your back for a moment. Bring your knees in and just let your hips relax, rocking a little bit. You're gonna roll to your right side. You can put a block underneath your head if you need a little support or a blanket or nothing. Or let's bend your knees, bend at your hips, bend at your knees. And then grab onto the front of your left ankle
and stretch that quad. Okay, so draw your knee back, opening up through the quadriceps, tail descends, pubic bone lifts, so there's a little stability in the body. Breathe into your quads. Maybe your whole thigh wants to go back a little bit, but make sure if you do that, you do it from a stable pelvis. Release that. And let's switch to the other side, rolling to your left. Grab onto your right ankle and draw that thigh back. Open up your shoulder a little bit. Feel the stability in your pelvis and core helping you. Remember, any pose and every pose can be restorative if you bring that ease and breath into it. Notice your nervous system starting to notch down a little bit where we're not, hopefully kind of combating any anxiety or stress that you might be feeling. Let's come back onto our back and we'll do a simple twist before we move into a, more traditional restorative posture. Knees or hips over to the right, knees up, drop them to the left and open up into a twist. And take any variation of this that you want. If you want to grab your big toe and stretch a little more in your outer hip, that's great. If you want to just focus on the beauty of a chest opener and twist, that's great. Back to center. Shift your hips to the left, knees come over to the right. Full breaths here. Exhale all the way. Relax and find a moment on your back. We're going to move into Supta Baddha Konasana in a moment. First, just neutralize and think about what you want. So, sometimes we get simple about the pose and we think, oh, just a block under each knee. But I encourage you to really, make a full bed for yourself if your body is so inclined. So if you have a bolster, you can stack your blocks, one at the middle height, one at the low height, and then stack a bolster over your blocks. If you don't have that, you can just put a blanket over it and have your legs or have your back resting on this. If you have extra pillows, you can have one for your head and some for your arms. And then if you have blankets, you can put one underneath each knee, or you can create a long snake and put that over top your feet and then under your hips. So Supta Baddha Konasana, the soles of the feet are together and knees are brought out to the sides. You can rest back on a perch. It could be flat on the ground. It could be a ramp so that you're more in a recliner position. And then the one thing I forgot to say is make sure you're warm. And restorative poses are never very comforting if you're cold. So if you have an extra blanket to put over you, or make sure you have socks or a sweater or something that keeps your body temperature in. For many years I did this without supporting my arms, and more recently, especially since hurting my shoulder, I take support. I kind of tuck a pillow right underneath my elbow and forearm and
Oh, it's made such a huge difference in the ability to feel that sense of support. So I highly recommend it if you've never tried that. Think less about stretching open any specific area of your body. This is not about stretching. This is about resting. So build yourself a nest that allows your body to fall into openness. And then bring your breath into that space. maybe straighten your legs first. Give them a little wobble. And we have time for one more restorative. You can stay right there actually if you're just oh so happy. But if you'd like to do a leg up the wall pose or any other variation of a restorative posture, you could do Supta Virasana. That's when you'll sit in Virasana and go back onto your props. You can put a blanket underneath your pelvis and put your legs up the wall. You can do child's pose over a bolster or some blankets under your chest. You can do a twist with some support. So however, whatever pose you want to do, it doesn't have to be my suggestion of leg up the wall pose. So however the posture needs to be for you. No matter what you're choosing to do, you can be here for a little bit or a lot. I'm going to cue this. We'll be here for about 3 minutes or so, and then I'll move you into Shavasana. So remember, you can always ignore me. Heck, you can just flip your computer down right now and stay in this next pose for 20 more minutes if you'd like. Whatever feels supportive and good to you. Remember, no matter what you choose, you can always re-choose. You know, if you're like, ooh, I'm not comfortable, or I didn't really want to do that pose. There's always another choice. Breath can be deep, the body can rest. If you're in leg up the wall pose, one of the joys of putting your legs up the wall is that nurturing quality that comes toward your heart. You get to rest your body deeply in the sense of your cardiovascular system, your nervous system, your lymphatic system. Inversions are so nice for all of those. If you're in child's pose, such a deeply restful posture, self-nurturing. So whatever pose you're choosing, enjoy what you're doing. Whenever you're ready, you can stay here, or if you'd like to transition into Shavasana at any time, you can come out of the position you're in and come into lying on your back or any variation thereof. Maybe you want to stay right where you are, and that's great too. Remember, Shavasana doesn't have a specific look to it. It has a feel to it. So it doesn't matter how you're placing your body in space, as long as you can melt all of your limbs, feel a deep rest in your head, breathe well into your belly, and relax your face. All is well.
As you feel ready to make the transition out of your practice, let's first, whatever position you're in, just give your weight one more time. Just give your weight. Let's invite breath deeply and fully. Eventually, find some movement in your body and bring yourself over to your side. Take your time, move quite slowly. No matter what your position you're coming out of, as you pause on your side, harvest your practice. All this goodness of ease in your nervous system, presence. Let's bring that with us as we come to an upright posture and come to sit. Once you are sitting, bring your hands together at your heart. And let's again kind of hold gratitude near and dear. Grateful for our yoga practice, grateful for so many things. So, whatever's streaming through you, just offer that gratitude. And send the sensation of gratitude outward, the feeling you have in your mind, body. Offer that grace to another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Bless.